Happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you can see or hear me. We have a juicy Facebook Live recap. I call it Facebook Live, but it's YouTube, Instagram. We have a juicy Let's Take Two. Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm Rebecca Greenspan, founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting. This way, Anyways, today we have a lot of juicy topics that have come up over the week that I am going to talk about. So welcome back. I was not here last week because I was on vacation with my son. I'm still trying to process how and what to share and talk about because, as some of you might remember, I surprised my son and we first went to California to meet his birth family on his father's side for the very first time. If you are watching on IG, you are getting the side view from me. Sorry. So I surprised him. The surprise went over amazing. He was stunned. It was really special and really good. And it was also a lot. And there's a lot to process and there's a lot of layers. And holy cow, if I haven't ingrained it in you enough, don't stop educating yourself because things come up all the time and we owe it to our children and to our families to continue to serve our children in the very, very best way possible. And the only way we can do that is to know and to be in community with people, the right people who get it, and to learn from each other and to hear from all sides of the triad so that we continue to educate ourselves and do the right things. So that was part of the trip. And then we went to Mexico. One thing I will tell you about our trip to California is, and it really, truly was so special, is that we had homemade, home-cooked Mexican food for 3 days straight by his birth father and his wife, who are great cooks. I'm going to try to, move. Oh, no, that's not good because then you can see it. Okay. Let's see. Gina, hello. Everybody post a win in the chat or something you want to share. Something good that happened this week. Post it. I want to hear. So I just shared mine. I mean, that was last week, and then this week, one of the best things that happened is I got caught up in emails. Woo! That's a lot when you go out of town. Can anybody feel me there? Can I get an amen? All right. Today, we are talking about lots of things because I'm catching up on the past week too. Brittany says, hello, super jealous of the food. I know. So glad we had it. The food was amazing. There's nothing like home cooked food, period, the end. I will eat 100% of the meals that are cooked for me and I will think they are delicious. But when you can get some good, authentic, from the heart food, it was amazing. Aurora reached the 1 month mark until the due date that for the situation she's matched with. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's so exciting, Aurora. I am cheering for you over here for sure. I am so excited for you. Anybody else have any wins? Okay, today we are talking about a lot of things, but I want to start with the comment that was posted in one of our communities, and I want to address it right now. I'm not going to get into the full role of a consultant, but I am going to address it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about can families work with a consultant if they're already with an agency or if they're with another consultant. We're going to be talking about adopting with multiple kids. We're not getting deep into any of this stuff, but I'm going to cover that. We're going to talk a little bit about your profile. You're going to talk about what happens if there's a fall through or maybe what doesn't happen, about agencies and their lack of communication because it sucks sometimes, many times, a lot of times, do's and don'ts when visiting an expectant mama after a match or even at the hospital. So these are some of the things we're going to talk about. Brittany had a win of the week, was submitting to 2 cases, one that's due next week. Fingers crossed. I heard about that one, Brittany. Fingers are crossed. I hope that you do hear soon because I know how hard it is to wait. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see all sorts of people joining us. Claire and Gina and Deja Marie Carter and D.Curly.O and all sorts of wonderful, wonderful people. So I want to hear from you. Keep chatting because it makes it more fun for all of us. Role of a consultant. Somebody asked, was complaining about the lack of communication from agencies. Have you experienced that? I'm sure you have if you're in the process. But somebody's question was, isn't that what the role of a consultant is? Yes and no. We absolutely are in communication with agencies as much as we possibly can be, juggling all the things that we have going on. We have the same frustrations that you do a lot of times. And also, it's not our responsibility. It is also yours. I should say it's not our sole responsibility. It is so important, you guys, for you to have that relationship. An agency might talk to us about something. I was just talking about this with a client. You know who you are. About this and how important those relationships are with the people that you are working with, whose power, whose life you are putting in their hands to try to help you connect with an expectant mama. So they don't want to do that if they don't know you. I'm not saying they won't otherwise, but when they really truly get to know you, and when you really truly, even more importantly, get to know who they are and who you're working with, it makes a difference. So yes, we can call all day long, but unless they know you, that relationship is not built. That relationship is so, so important. Deja Marie Carter said, me and my husband are home study approved. All right. Not sure if we should try to self-match or go with an agency. That's a hard one. There's pros and cons to both. I'd say the biggest pro to self-matching is definitely the financial piece. You will save thousands and maybe tens of thousands of dollars if you self-match. And if you have the budget and financial isn't the biggest concern for you, when you match through an agency, typically the expectant mom is getting the support that she needs and you're getting more support that you need as well. Either way, you should definitely connect with a community. So anyways, yes, communicating is a role of the consultant and it's a huge role for you as well. Don't ever just rely on your consultant if you are working with one. Can families work with a consultant if they're already signed up with an agency? Yes, it is not one or the other. In fact, we want you to be signed up with agencies and working with the consultant. So in fact, we want you to be working with multiple agencies and attorneys. The more, the merrier. Less is not more when it comes to trying to put yourself out there for adoption. You want your profile to be in front of as many expectant mamas as you can possibly have. So definitely doesn't matter. And in fact, if you're, for us, we don't care where you match. We're still going to provide you the same support and the same services. So we'll suggest some agencies to you, or if you're with a consultant that requires you to be signed up with certain agencies and you match somewhere else, that is just as great to us. We don't, we're not married to where you match. We just want you to be matched and we will support you. Good adoption juju over here. Yes. Okay. Sending it your way. Okay. So I hope that answers that question. Now, on the same token, can we use a consultant if we're already working with another consultant? I get that question all the time, and we get calls all the time with people who are already working with another consultant. So here's what I would say. One, if you're working with a consultant and your contract or your agreement or your term to that agreement is coming up and that relationship is coming to an end, and likely you've been waiting for a year or two, let's first step back and look at maybe why you might not be matching. Are you doing all the things? And we will help you with what those are. Being in communication, we talked a little bit about that. Are you open with your preferences? Are you gender specific? How does your profile look? All of that. You absolutely at that point can sign on with another consultant. I would say at that point, if you have been waiting for a year or two and now you're going to sign up with the new consultant, I would suggest redoing your profile, because what you had been doing thus far hasn't worked for you yet. So not to say it might not be an amazing profile. It might be, but it hasn't worked. So let's put a whole new energy around it and redo it or update it. Okay, sometimes that's all you need to do is just put a different energy around things. If you are currently working with a consultant and you just want to add as many as you can, and finances are not, holding you back, that's not restricting you, you can. However, it might not be the best use of your money. And here's why. Most consultants run in the same networks. So you're going to start seeing the same situations. If you sign up with two consultants, you might get the same situations from each of us the whole time. And how frustrating for you, because that's not why you signed up with another consultant. Now, there are certainly times where I get a situation sent to me from XYZ agency and a different consultant will not get that situation, or vice versa. There are times I don't get situations that I know my colleagues are getting. So it is possible you will see more or different situations, but a lot of them will be overlapping. So I would say to you, before you sign up with another consultant, go back to the consultant that you're working with. Let them know you want to expand a little bit more and ask, are there agencies I can sign up with? Are there other attorneys I can sign up with? Are there other websites I can sign up with? Again, try to be with as many places as you can who are going to show your profile for you. Hello, water bottle. What? It's like I haven't gotten very far, have I? But let me take a sip. I clearly need to drink more. This is not the second one, and I'm only at the 9 a.m. mark. That's not good. But I have drank a cup of tea and a shake. Okay, sorry for my loud swallows. I hope that answers your questions, if you had it, about working with multiple consultants at once. Okay, hi Kim. I just saw you pop up. I hope you're doing well. Adopting with multiple kids. Will anyone work with us? Oh, I keep forgetting to show my cute little, that. I'm going to take my name off here. I'm going to put these that up. Okay. Will anyone work with us? Yes. And maybe not. Since the pandemic, as you've heard me say, lists are getting long by the hundreds sometimes. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get on it. There's a lot that goes into it and a lot you need to consider. Some agencies will not take you if you have multiple children because they are just, maybe they have too many. I've said before, when people are growing their list of families that they'll work with, they like to mix it up. They don't like to have too many single women or too many gay parents or too many white people or, etc. There's no such thing as too many Black couples, by the way, or interracial. They'll take them all day long. They'll take interracial couples all day long. But with having multiple kids, I'd say more often than not, an expectant mom is going to choose somebody either with no children, one child or children that look like her child, if it's interracial, before choosing someone with multiple children. It doesn't mean you won't get chosen, and it doesn't mean that somebody won't work with you. That's the simple answer. Next, your profile when English is your second language. If you are putting together a profile and English is not your first language, please work with somebody who can help you. You need to be able to communicate effectively with who's on the other end of that. If your English isn't perfect, that's okay, but it really needs to be relatable and it needs to come across flowing very easily and not choppy. So please work with someone to help you with the language barrier piece of it. That's really important. Also, when doing your profile, remember who's reading it. They don't always care about all the things that you care about. This is really important to hear and really hard to hear. So come here and listen up. An expectant mom looking at your profile does not care about all of the personal, really emotional and close things in your life that happened to you in the past. They just don't care as much as you do. It's not to take away from it. If you've suffered a loss in your life by somebody who's just super important and you can't imagine having a profile without them, that's okay. There are pieces and places that you can mention that, but that's not really the piece she's going to connect with. And so you have to always keep in mind who is looking at your profile and what are they going to care about. What they care about is, who you are day to day, where you live. Do you have a nice group of family and friends? What do you do for a living? All of those things. What's your personality? That's the most important thing you want to get across is your personality. So please do your best not to be so emotionally attached if somebody is giving you the feedback that what you have in there right now maybe is not super important and not relevant. Your whole point is wanting to get matched, right? So if you're working with somebody, take their suggestions. Stopping for a second, Whitney says, kind of hard for the agency to know you if they don't respond to calls and emails. Can I get an amen? I know, Whitney. It is maddening. And like I said before, some of them are getting calls, 50 calls a day by families wanting to sign up. And I know that they're getting to it. And they will eventually, and some won't, because I'm going to be really brutally honest. Some just don't care about you because they have enough families. It's really frustrating. You will need to follow up 2 to 3 times. It's going to feel like a cat and mouse game, and it is disgusting and frustrating, and it is for us too. It's like crazy to me sometimes that I'm like, I want to put money in your pocket. I'm sending families over to you. Why aren't you responding? But if they have 100 families already or 200 families already, it's just impossible for them to get to everything, right? So think about if you came back from vacation or a couple days off and you have an email inbox of 100 emails, there's just no possible way you're going to get back to those people that quickly. I don't know if that's a good way to relate that, but I know how maddening it is. And I wish there was something we could do about it. Sometimes we can get you answers or at least get things moving. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes things get lost. So do not count on 1 or 2 calls being enough. Change up your method too. Email and call. Maybe try somebody else. Certainly, I know you're working with us. You can ask us if we're having any luck. I'm sure you already have. And sometimes we're just not. And I don't know what else I can do about that. Dave says, glad it's not just us. All right, let's see. And Whitney, this is bad too. I had a fall through and my agency isn't even reaching out. It just makes me so sad. It really does. Agencies are not great at comforting you after a fall through, some of them more than others. And again, I think it just depends on what's on their plate. fall throughs are really normal for them, but not to you. And sometimes they make you wait to even talk to them because they're so busy. Sometimes there's one or two people running the whole show. And so they're trying to do all the things, and their birth moms and expectant moms are their number one. Sometimes it feels like they're super insensitive. Lean on your consultant for comfort and direction. Lean on your community of people who have been through it before you. I know sometimes it feels so vulnerable to do that. On a side note, I'm kind of back and forth in a conference today, and they were talking about the word intimacy, and this kind of reminds vulnerability and intimacy kind of remind me of each other. And the person speaking broke down the word intimacy to into me, I see. So looking into yourself to if you are reacting and just kind of looking at what might be going on for you. I loved that. I don't know. That's just a side note. But anyways, lean on your consultant. Get your support elsewhere. Don't rely on your agencies for the support and education that you need. Unfortunately, things have really changed a lot since I adopted 10 years ago, and you need to seek it outside of your agencies. I think that's one of the good things about so many consultants coming to the surface. We already talked about agencies are not communicating. Agencies are not communicating. Agencies are not getting back to us. They're not calling us back. It is very frustrating. Okay. Do's and don'ts when visiting an expectant mama after a match. If she's struggling financially and letting you know about it and calling you to support her financially, the first thing you need to do is call the agency and call the caseworker and tell them what's going on, because that is not your responsibility. If she mentions she, really likes the phone and you're like, oh, I love her, I want to get her the new iPhone, please don't do it. If anyone, including an agency, asks you to sign a lease for her to get a mobile home, an apartment, a phone, and anything, don't sign it. You should never be in the business of signing any leases, buying any big tangible anything for her. If anything, buy small gifts. Flowers. If a holiday is coming up, maybe a gift card, but not for hundreds of dollars, maybe for $50 or maybe $100. So don't make demands. Okay, don't buy elaborate gifts. You are not the mom at this point either. So don't make demands. Don't let her know the way it's going to be or whatever. Let her let her kind of lead the no, I shouldn't say that. I want you to take the lead of your agency, because at that point you really need to be getting feedback and letting the caseworker know what's going on. Okay. So if you are questioning anything, then question it before you take action. Okay. Question it with your consultant, question it with your agency. That's the same with going to the hospital. Don't make demands. So I hope that all of these things have been helpful today. I am so excited for all the wins that I see you guys experiencing. I'm sorry for all the frustrations, but just remember, you are on a roadmap. You're on a journey to adopt or post-adoption. You're still on that roadmap and you're still on a journey. So if you veer off, that is okay. Come right back onto the roadmap. Stay focused. Get the support and community that you need. Continue to educate yourself, and you are going to be well on your way, my friends. Dave, I see your comment. Let me just look at it really quickly. We had an interesting happening. We presented to a birth mother a few days ago, an expectant mom, I should say. The agency contacted us and said that the expectant mom cannot decide between us and another couple and would like us to send a video within an hour. What should we have said in the video? We sent one, but she later picked a couple with no other children. Sometimes there's nothing you can say. Maybe she just connected with somebody else more, but work with your consultant on that if you are working with a consultant. But just be you. You just want to be authentic and you want your personality come out. Be unique. I got to run. So I'm going to leave it at that, but happy to help you more with that, especially if it comes back up again. Feel free to message me if you want, and we can brainstorm together. I will talk to you guys again next Friday, same time, same place. Thank you all for being here and have a great weekend. Bye.